Trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, an Arizona man who considers himself to be a prophet claimed 20 wives, and some of them were minors from Lincoln. Plus, the season comes to an end for the Husker volleyball team. And also tonight, cases of the flu, RSV, and COVID are surging across the nation. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Conway. Rod has the night off. First tonight, though, we want to start with your weather. With snow, ice, freezing rain falling across the state and making travel conditions dangerous for some. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins for the very latest. Rusty?
Yeah, I know the untreated surfaces are likely going to be the slipperiest of the surfaces out there. Roadways, if they're treated, they should be okay. A lot of freezing drizzle out there, though, so slick spots going to be likely just about everywhere within the purple shaded counties that are under a winter weather advisory through at least 10 p.m., if not a little bit longer. So what's going on out there? Well, we've got this storm system that's just kind of wrapping itself up right now. We've got snow to the north and west, and that pink shaded area as advertised. We talked about it a lot yesterday. It is continuing to go from about Lincoln north towards Omaha and Sioux City. So that is going to continue as we head through the next few hours. Here's what it looks like in Beatrice right now. Our Shones roofing cam showing just basically a wet street out there. Traffic seems to be going just fine. Like I said, some of the main roadways that have been treated should be okay. And Beatrice is a little above the freezing mark, 37 degrees, so that does help. But notice where it gets cooler, like 32 degrees in Lincoln, 28 in Grand Island, 28 in Holdridge. Those areas have the better chance of seeing the slicker spots, so that's something we're keeping a close eye on. Temperature-wise, we'll hover in the upper 20s and lower 30s in the capital city, so the chance for some precipitation in the form of freezing drizzle is, there's a chance of it as we head through the next few hours, and the chance for rain also continues as we head towards midnight. So there is going to be some moisture out there for the next few hours, but then this moves away and leaves us rather quiet for the next few days. We'll take a look at that forecast in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Rusty. National news of a self-proclaimed prophet who had child brides is now bringing the attention to our area. Some of the victims are from Lincoln. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto spoke to a local organization helping sexual trafficking victims and joins us live with more. Veronica?
An Arizona man is accused of taking 20 wives. Many of them were minors and some were from Lincoln. The case first became public in August, but new court documents just released reveal details linking the case here. Samuel Bateman met several of his victims on trips he made to Lincoln back in 2020, according to newly released court documents. Bateman is the leader of a small polygamous group on the Arizona-Utah border. He was a former member of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He left the Fundamentalist and started his own group. The Fundamentalists are different from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who strictly prohibit polygamy. Bateman considered himself a prophet. A Lincoln family followed Bateman's teachings. Court documents say Bateman pressured a Lincoln man into giving him several daughters as wives who were underage. Bateman was arrested in August after a report of a suspicious vehicle appeared to be pulling a box trailer full of children. Recently, federal authorities charged 3 of Bateman's wives, including the Lincoln man's daughter, with kidnapping and law obstruction when 8 girls associated with the group fled from state foster care. Now that this case is gaining national attention, local advocates in Lincoln say sex trafficking is real in our city.
In 2016, Creighton University released some research about Nebraska, and it indicated that every 30-day period in Lincoln, at least 200 girls are for sale individually.
Back in October, Lincoln Police Department said 42% of sex trafficking victims are recruited by a family member. In Lincoln, the organization I've Got a Name helps victims of sex trafficking to get the resources they need. Its president says many times people groom their victims and attack their vulnerabilities and fears.
They're telling them everything they want to hear. That they manipulate them. They abduct them through their heart, and through their mind.
Yates says the community can help in stopping sex trafficking in our state by recognizing the signs.
It's just behavior changes. Suddenly a young girl becomes very isolated, is not talking very much to anyone.
Yates says anyone who sees something suspicious should contact local authorities. The organization I've Got a Name has resources for victims of sex trafficking. We have a link to those resources on our website. Also, you can call the Nebraska Trafficking Hotline for victims at 833-757-5665.
Veronica Barreto, thank you very much for that story tonight. Back in September, the results of an assessment on Lincoln's police were shared with the public. That assessment included an anonymous survey where 47% of women within the department said they experienced sexual discrimination. Now LPD is giving an update on how it's handling those results and implementing the 28 recommendations given to them. Chief Ewan says, as a woman and a leader in law enforcement, she takes harassment and discrimination very seriously and supports employees coming forward.
This is not necessarily unique to only law enforcement. This is in every business. And so we need to keep that in mind. But I do think that it's about us preventing behavior before it even begins. And that's by policy, that's by training, that's by good supervision. And that is the ideal for me.
City officials say they're working to create more pathways for complaints to reach the city's HR department, as well as a new equal employment opportunity sergeant. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll have more details on what LPD is working on. Lincoln police are also investigating a crash that sent one vehicle into a pond. It happened at 27th and Yankee Hill Road around 11:30 last night. The driver, who ended up in the pond, was able to make it out okay. Witnesses reported seeing two people run off after the crash. We're told there were no injuries, and again, police are still working to determine what exactly caused the crash. The Keystone pipeline system has been shut down after a leak was discovered near the border of Kansas and Nebraska. The pipeline is a 2,700-mile system that delivers oil to major refineries across America. An emergency shutdown began last night after alarms triggered and pressures dropped in the system. TC Energy said there's been a confirmed release of oil into a creek south of Steel City, Nebraska, and that they're working to contain and prevent the leak from spreading. Now we turn to the growing virus threat as the nation faces that so-called triple-demic of flu, COVID, and RSV. Flu hospitalizations are the highest in a decade, as far back as statistics are available. ABC's Dave Packer has more.
Hospitals are filling up as the triple-demic of flu, RSV, and COVID overwhelms doctors and nurses across the country. Doctors say young children are particularly vulnerable.
Right now in our emergency room, we have patients who have been waiting for 12+ hours to be seen. Our hospital is full, our ICU is full, and that is scary because we know that there are sick kids out there.
Lauren and Jason Taylor's daughter, Kyra, had just gotten over the flu when she had trouble breathing.
She had low oxygen, which they call hypoxia, and a fever, and they said that they needed to admit her right away.
But with the hospital at capacity, Kyra had to wait nearly 24 hours in the ER for a bed to open up.
The emergency rooms are inundated with all types of, just respiratory infections. But our pediatric floors and our ICUs have been full all across the country and in Los Angeles.
New York City seeing very high levels of flu-like illness for the 5th week in a row.
These numbers are spiking way too early compared to historical trends. And we have 27,000 positive cases right now.
New York State has reported over 68,000 cases just this season. This as the FDA Thursday amended the emergency use authorizations for the updated bivalent Moderna and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines to include use in children down to 6 months of age. But it's not just kids getting sick.
I want to live to be 87 instead of 67, So that's why I'm here getting my shots.
That's why the CDC is urging all Americans to make sure they're up to date on those latest vaccines and boosters for both flu and COVID. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Now to some disappointing sports news. The Husker volleyball season is officially over. Nebraska lost to Oregon this morning in the regional round of the NCAA tournament. The match was a close one and went 5 sets. The loss snapped the Huskers' streak of reaching the regional finals for 10 straight years. The team finished the season with a record of 26-6. At one LPS elementary school today, students learned about different aspects of the Nutcracker Ballet thanks to the Lincoln Midwest Ballet Company. This is the 33rd year for Backstage at the Ballet. This year, the ballet company came to Roper Elementary. The company's artistic staff hosted workshops where students learned choreography, costuming, and makeup for the Nutcracker Ballet. The goal is to bring the arts to young students in the Lincoln community.
It is really important for me to bring the arts to the public schools. We have a lot of kids that play sports, but not so many kids that have the opportunity to dance. And so it's really, really important for me to, bring the arts to our community, let them experience it and see how it feels to be backstage at the ballet.
On Monday, the company will bring more of their dancers and hold an assembly to showcase portions of the Nutcracker to the students. Some lucky kids were even picked to dance with them. The Nutcracker can be seen at the Lead Center December 17th and 18th. Still to come on the news tonight, after nearly 300 days detained, WNBA star Brittany Griner is free. We'll have more on her release, plus details on the American veteran who is still in a Russian prison. We'll be right back.
It's the holiday seafood sale. This week at Super Saver. Cold water lobster tail.
WNBA star Brittany Griner is now free after months of captivity in Russia. She was released as part of a prisoner swap with Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. Griner is now on a plane headed back to the States. ABC's Alex Prochet has the details.
Well, good morning, folks, and it is a good morning.
After 294 days detained, WNBA star Brittany Griner is free. This is video of her right before she was released into U.S. custody. It was taken by Russian state media. Griner's wife, Sherelle, beaming at the White House today.
Today, I'm just standing here overwhelmed with emotions, but the most important emotion that I have right now is just sincere gratitude for President Biden and his entire administration.
Griner's now en route to an Army medical center in San Antonio, Texas. Arrested in February at a Moscow airport for carrying vape cartridges containing hash oil, Griner was sentenced to 9 years on drug smuggling charges. The U.S. brokering a deal to exchange her for convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, who was serving a 25-year sentence, both pardoned as part of the deal. The sports world reacting to the news. Griner's WNBA team, the Phoenix Mercury, and the NBA's Suns releasing a joint statement calling the release miraculous and merciful, saying we no longer have to bring BG home. She's on her way. Her Team USA Olympic coach, Dawn Staley, emotional, discussing the moment she got the news on ESPN.
I cried, and I'm a girl from Philly. We don't cry very easily.
But still in Russian captivity, veteran Paul Whelan, who's been detained on sham espionage charges since 2018. He called into CNN from prison.
I'm happy that Brittany is going home today and that Trevor went home when he did, but I don't understand why I'm still sitting here.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken insists the U.S. has made every possible available offer to secure Paul's freedom, and that this was not a choice of which American to bring home. It was a choice of one or none. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
So winter weather advisories continue to be in place from about Interstate 80 north, and they've kind of been eroding away from the southern to the northern fringes, and there were winter weather advisories for just about everybody, but now just the northern 3/4 of the state, does include the capital city. And this area right here has the best chance for seeing a little more freezing drizzle and rain. I think more just in the southeastern portion of the state and a little north of Interstate 80, then freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and 1 to 3 inches of snow, which has already happened in some spots for the northern half of the state. So still winter weather advisories through about 10 p.m. And midnight in some spots. Road conditions where you see the pink, that's covered. And then where you see the blue, partially covered, so that could be ice or snow. And then the green is good overall, but this is just the main roads, interior roads and side roads and things like that. Likely going to be a little on the slick side. This is what it looks like, Southeast Community College, 84th and O Street, I think. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Temperatures are on the chilly side, right around that freezing mark. So anything that is cold, that moisture will stick to it and freeze up, and it'll be icy in some spots, that's for sure. 33 Southeast Community College, 32 at the airport, East Campus, and a little cooler the further north and west you go. 20s in Central City, Grand Island, 30 degrees in York, 31 in Friends. So temperatures a little below the freezing mark, making it a little easier for icy conditions to happen, and that's why the winter weather advisory is for areas to the north. Not much of a wind out there, allowing those visibilities to be less than 1 mile in some spots. The snowfall, central Nebraska, western Nebraska, up towards Valentine, 1 to 3 inches already being reported in the northern third of the state. Then this mixed precipitation from about Lincoln, Omaha north towards Sioux City, that is making its way north and east. This will eventually wrap around, but I think it'll move to the north and east as it does so. So a couple of spots here, little light rain mixed with a little freezing drizzle, maybe a snowflake or two as well. And then snowfall to the north, some bands of heavier snow moving into South Dakota. And then this right here is the heaviest snow falling in Nebraska right now, from Stapleton to Mullen to Ashby to Arthur. So we'll keep an eye on it. There's the snow as we head past 7 p.m. Light mixed precipitation for southeast Nebraska, and it should quickly move to the north and east as we head towards midnight. Then that should be about it. High pressure will start to move in as we head through the day on Friday, and this cloud cover tries to stick around through the first half of the day on Friday. Then I think we'll eventually see some afternoon sunshine. Fast forwarding to next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, going to be very interesting to watch. Rain on one side, snow on the other, and then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, the wind really starts to pick up, and this could make for quite the mess. And this is not set in stone. This could easily move east or south or north, keeping a very, very close eye on this weather system. It could be it could create a lot of headaches for a lot of people as we head through early next week. But tonight, headaches already out there. Temperatures between 20 and 25 degrees. Early freezing mix. That'll eventually go away and we'll see just the clouds remaining. 25 degrees. Northeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs tomorrow, upper 30s, lower 40s. This is normal. This is exactly where we're supposed to be this time of year. Mostly cloudy, eventually getting some sunshine around here. 41 degrees, a very light west wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, pretty nice days. Between 40 and 45, 46 degrees, maybe even a 50 by Monday. But then that storm system that I was just talking about comes our way, gives us a rain chance on Monday, changing over to a little mixed precipitation and possibly some snow as we head into Wednesday, and much cooler, 50 on Monday down to 34 on Wednesday, and we continue to cool down. That storm system will drag with it some Canadian cold air and high temperatures. By next weekend, we'll be on the cold side. But that's a long ways away. We still have tonight to deal with some freezing drizzle out there, some light mixed precipitation making travel a little treacherous.
All right, thanks for keeping us updated, Rusty. A positive day on Wall Street today, the Dow gaining 184 points. NASDAQ is up 123, S&P adding 30. Here are your numbers. We'll be right back. Day and themselves, and buried treasure unlike any other is discovered in England, and a Disney hit literally lighting up the sky in Colombia. Check it all out in tonight's Take a Look at This.
A very scary moment for this family when a 1-year-old was accidentally locked in the car.
Get out your seat and open the door for us.
Apriana Lukey says her grandmother accidentally hit the lock instead of unlock button on the car as they were getting out, trapping her daughter inside. Through clear instructions, Lukey was able to guide her very clever daughter into unbuckling her car seat, crawling to the front seat, and eventually unlocking the door. Voila! The South Carolina mom says the hardest part of the ordeal was staying calm.
You know, at first it was like a little scary moment, but you know, I had to calm myself down because I seen how nervous and shaking my grandmother was. Yes, sir! My baby's smart!
Precious treasures fit for a rich and powerful woman. That's what archaeologists have excavated from a site in central England. The highlight was a stunning 1,300-year-old necklace made of gold, garnet, and other semi-precious stones. The Museum of London Archaeology says the necklace is the most ostentatious of its kind ever to be found in Britain. Other items discovered with the necklace included decorated pots and dishes and a large silver cross. We now leave you with this little bit of holiday cheer today. The city of Medellin in Colombia put together a fantastical light show themed after the Disney hit Encanto. Using nearly 10 million lights, the displays bring the movie to life, even recreating the characters' doors. With a light show this brilliant, I think it's safe to say this holiday they will be talking about Bruno. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Wow, quite a light display. Rusty, not the weather to hang Christmas lights tonight.
No, not a good idea at all. In fact, just being out and about may be a little difficult. This storm system is spinning its way across the state of Nebraska, will eventually make its way to the north and east. We do have that light mixed precipitation in eastern Nebraska, snow out to the west.
All right, thank you, Rusty, and thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
DQ chicken strip basket? I want in on that. House-made Hidden Valley Ranch, fries, Texas toast, and DQ chicken strips. Let's get delivery at DQ.com.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends. But let's face it, nothing is more exciting than to sign, then drive. Rush to Schwer Volkswagen. Get a Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas with practically just a signature. All at Schwer Volkswagen, where you come first.
Don't lose track of what's happening over the weekend in your community. Channel 8 News brings you the first look at the weekend's top stories, local events, and the forecast for the week ahead. Stay up to date with Channel 8's Weekend News.
Next ET, our exclusive behind the scenes of 80 for Brady. Then only we're with Oscar winner Catherine Zeta-Jones on the set of National Treasure.
Next, ET.
Weekdays at 6:30 after Channel 8 News at 6.
We asked our certified transmission experts about what makes our transmissions the best choice.
Our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility.
Our extensive training and continuing education.
Transmissions are all we do, so we can be confident offering our industry-leading warranty.
And that means you can be confident with a quality repair.
So for a transmission you can count on the best in the business, certified transmission.
The job done right, at the right price.
In 2021, over 400 children in Nebraska were adopted into their forever home.
For Nebraskans who decide to adopt, you are a beacon of hope for children who need it most.
For those considering adoption, you have a unique opportunity to change a life for the better.
It doesn't take a perfect family to make a difference in the life of a child, and more families are needed.
Thank you to all Nebraskans that have adopted or are seeking to adopt a child from foster care.
For those considering adoption, please call
1-800-7PARENT.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says let it snow because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
A healthy dog is a happy dog, and at Arnie's Pet Food Store, you'll find all natural pet foods, high in meat content, low carb with no preservatives. Shop at Arnie's, your neighborhood pet food store, where they care about your pets as much as they do their own.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends. But let's face it, nothing is more exciting than to sign, then drive. Rush to Schwer Volkswagen. Get a Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas ready to go today with 4.9% financing. All at Schwer Volkswagen, where you come first.
Evergreen by FNBO. From the Great Big Small Bank.
Tonight, breaking news, the new images coming in at this hour. WNBA star Brittany Griner released from Russia, flying back to the U.S. at this hour. Video showing Brittany Griner boarding a plane, smiling on her way back to the U.S. after being held in Russia for nearly 10 months. President Biden making the announcement, Griner's wife standing by his side. Griner released in exchange for convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death. The two passing each other on the tarmac, the administration pressed about former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, Russia holding him prisoner for 4 years now. And tonight, the audio right here, what Paul Whelan said today after learning of Griner's release. We have late reporting at this hour from Mary Bruce and Pierre Thomas. The brazen admission by Vladimir Putin saying Russian forces are deliberately targeting Ukraine's power supply. Putin saying, quote, "Yes, we're doing it." Martha Raddatz tonight. Chilling new details in the alleged plot to overthrow the German government, what they were allegedly planning to do when they stormed German parliament. In the U.S., the House passing the Respect for Marriage Act, protecting same-sex and interracial marriages. This now heads to the president's desk. Rachel Scott live on the Hill tonight. Singer Celine Dion's emotional reveal about her health. Diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder, what this is and what this now means for her future. Tonight, we have news on COVID and children in this country and the FDA's new decision on the COVID booster. We're also tracking 3 storm systems moving across the U.S. One of them could be a major storm, measuring snow in feet. Dangerous winds and rain moving west all the way east. Rob Marciano standing by to time all of this out. And our Made in America Christmas is back. Your ideas pouring in. And it turns out they have not forgotten the family dog.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. We begin tonight with the dramatic prisoner swap playing out on the world stage today. WNBA star Brittany Griner on her way home to the U.S. tonight, freed from Russia in a prisoner swap for a Russian arms dealer convicted here in the U.S., known as the Merchant of Death. Griner was arrested in February, days before Russia invaded Ukraine, and tonight, nearly 10 months later, she is now free. The first images coming in tonight, Russian state media showing Griner on the tarmac in Abu Dhabi, right there in the red coat on the left, released to U.S. custody, exchange for that Russian arms dealer, Viktor Bout, the two passing each other on the tarmac. Moments later, the image from the Oval Office, Griner speaking on the phone with President Biden, her wife Sherelle, Vice President Harris, Secretary of State Blinken there too. But Griner's wife and President Biden tonight saying their joy is tempered by concern that another American detained in Russia, former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, is still there. What the president said about that today, and Paul Whelan himself today, and the audio. What he said after learning of Brittany Griner's release. We begin with our senior White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, tonight.
Tonight, our first glimpse of Brittany Griner on her way to freedom. Russian state media releasing this video of the WNBA star making her way out of the country after 294 days of detention. Signing paperwork, walking through the gates, boarding a bus, and then getting on their plane.
What's your mood?
Happy.
Well,
do you know where I'm heading to?
No.
No?
No. Вы летите домой.
You fly back home.
To the U.S.
To the U.S.
Да, конечно. Так что все будет нормально.
Everything will be fine.
And then this moment, Griner released into U.S. custody on a tarmac in Abu Dhabi. Griner there in the red coat. The smiling man seen shaking hands and giving hugs is Viktor Bout, the notorious Russian arms dealer who the U.S. swapped in exchange for Griner's freedom. Bout, arrested in 2008, sentenced to 25 years for aiding a terrorist organization and conspiring to kill Americans. Back in Washington, President Biden soon on the phone with Griner, then tweeting, "Moments ago, I spoke to Brittany Griner. She is safe. She is on a plane. She is on her way home." There in the Oval Office, Griner's wife, Sherelle, who had just learned the news from the president himself. Shortly after, the two going before cameras.
Brittany will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along.
This is a day we've worked toward for a long time.
I'm just standing here overwhelmed with emotions, but the most important emotion that I have right now is just sincere gratitude for President Biden and his entire administration.
Greiner was arrested in February for illegally bringing hashish oil in vape cartridges into Russia.
I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling that it doesn't end my life here.
Sentenced to 9 years, Greiner was recently moved to a penal colony 200 miles outside Moscow. For months, fans, supporters, and teammates of the two-time Olympic gold medalist pressuring the Biden administration to bring her home. Tonight, we've learned after months of painstaking negotiations, the prisoner swap finally came together in the last 48 hours, the president signing on within just the last week. Biden had hoped to secure the freedom of 2 Americans, Greiner and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, who's been imprisoned on espionage charges for 4 years. But Russia rejected the proposal, making it clear Whelan's release was not on the table.
Today, my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole. And so BG's not here to say this, but I will gladly speak on her behalf and say that BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul.
In a statement, Whelan's family saying the Biden administration made the right decision to bring Miss Greiner home and to make the deal that was possible, rather than waiting for one that wasn't going to happen. But Paul Whelan himself speaking to CNN from Russia.
I'm happy that Brittany is going home today, but I don't understand why I'm still sitting here. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go home. I just need an airplane to come and get me.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken insisting the U.S. made every possible offer in an effort to get Whelan out.
This was not a choice of which American to bring home. The choice was one or none. We will never relent.
The president today with this pledge.
We've not forgotten about Paul Whelan, who's been unjustly detained in Russia for years. While we have not yet succeeded in securing Paul's release, we are not giving up. We will never give up.
So let's get right to Mary Bruce live at the White House tonight. Mary, as we're on the air this evening, we know Brittany Griner, of course, on that plane heading back to the U.S. What more do we know about when and where she arrives?
Well, we have learned that she is making her way home, heading to a military medical facility in San Antonio, Texas, where she will be offered care. Now, no word on when we may hear from Griner directly. Tonight, her family is asking for privacy and just very grateful that she is home for the holidays. David.
Mary Bruce leading us off tonight. Mary, thank you. Of course, the question, who is this Russian arms dealer swapped for Brittany Griner? Tonight, the convicted arms dealer, Victor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death, and why Russia wanted him back. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas now.
Tonight, Victor Bout, the notorious arms dealer, the so-called Merchant of Death, back in Russia, freed in exchange for Brittany Griner. Russia desperately wanted Bout back. He was serving a 25-year sentence after being arrested for selling nearly every kind of weapon imaginable worldwide. 800 surface-to-air missiles, 30,000 AK-47s, 5 tons of C4 explosives, 10 million rounds of ammunition. He's denied it all, like in this 2009 jailhouse interview.
I never supplied arms as such at all, and especially never had any deal with Al-Qaeda.
Bout was extradited to the U.S. after DEA agents, posing as members of the militant Colombia organization known as FARC, got him to sell missiles. Tonight, one of the former DEA agents involved said it's a mistake to release him.
It's a good thing that a U.S. citizen is home. And now we just return the Lord of War to Putin. Makes no sense to me.
Bout was suspected of being a Russian intelligence agent, but he's been in a U.S. prison for more than a decade. And some officials believe his value as an intelligence asset has long since diminished, and that swapping him for Griner was the right thing to do, David.
All right, Pierre Thomas on this as well tonight. Thank you, Pierre. And Brittany Griner's nearly 10 months in Russia playing out, of course, as Vladimir Putin wages this war in Ukraine. And tonight, news involving Putin and what he now acknowledges about targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure, electricity and water. He said, quote, "Yes, we are doing it." Let's bring in Martha Raddatz. And Martha, certainly a brazen statement from Putin tonight, leading many to ask, because of its direct impact on millions of civilians there, is this a war crime?
Well, David, they were striking comments with Putin flat out saying, yes, we are doing it, when asked if the Russians are deliberately targeting Ukrainian energy infrastructure. But it is unclear whether this is a war crime. The Russians can say the targeting is legitimate because the energy infrastructure supports the military. But there's no question civilians are not only being killed in these strikes, but as you and I have both seen, David, they are left without heat, electricity, hot water in the cold of winter, which human rights